I've said it time and time again, and I'll say it again. This transfer portal class has been very, very kind to Nebraska in this offseason. Not losing a ton of big talent, but getting some guys that can come in and immediately make a huge, huge impact. Six in the class right now, but don't let the numbers fool you. It's a very, very solid class of six. We're going to get into the latest here, one on the defensive side of the ball at that. So, first things first, though, my name is Justin Adams. I am a content creator here at Nebraska Football, the voice of college football. If you like what we do here, please consider liking and subscribing. Like I said before, YouTube doesn't like me otherwise, so I appreciate it if y'all like me. So, thanks, everybody. Let's go and get into what you came here for, though. Stefon Thompson. Like I said, he's a sixth transfer in this class, along with Isaiah Nair, Jamal Banks, Dante Dowdle, Michael Pskua. Very, very particular, this coaching staff with this class, just because the numbers being about 10 scholarships over, 9 or 10, the majority of this offseason, they had to be very selective with the guys they brought in, and they had to be guys that needed to come in and immediately can play and make an impact. Otherwise, there was no point in clogging up the numbers. And each and every one of these guys is going to do that. Stefon Thompson is going to be a key cog on this defense. And I'm going to get into a little bit of why. We'll get into a little bit of his historical numbers at Syracuse. But he's 6'1", 250. The biggest thing coming over from Syracuse, Syracuse runs the 3-3-5 because Tony White was there before he came to Nebraska. He started under Tony White. He knows the system inside and out. He knows the coach inside and out. That is a very underrated aspect of why he's going to do so well here. But a little bit into him as a player, maybe not looking much into Syracuse's, his time at Syracuse, but I dove into a little bit, and he's going to come in with 2 seasons of eligibility left. He did get injured while he was at Syracuse, and then of course he had the COVID season. So overall in his career, though, 169 tackles, 10.5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, which was 20th in Syracuse's history. And he still has 2 years of eligibility left and lost a season due to injury. So big time numbers there. True freshman year, he started day one, was the first player to start in day one in 10 years. Deshaun Davis did it in 2011, and then he was able to do it in 2020. Started 10 games that year, 35 tackles, 7.5 TFLs, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. He had the single game tackle for loss record with 4 against Louisville, third most in a single game in the ACC in 2020. And in his debut, came out hot, came off firing on all cylinders. He got a career high 7 tackles in his debut. So, very, very prolific straight out of the gates, made an instant impact, just like he will do over here. And we'll get into where his career took a little bit of a trajectory that led him to Nebraska. So, moving on to 2021. 2021 was his best season to date. Okay. I'll pull up his numbers here too, so y'all can see these. Let me get these up. So in 2021, as you can see, started 12 games. He was second on the team with 79 tackles, was only behind Michael Jones. Michael Jones ended up actually, playing a couple stops in the NFL, but, coming into the season was first team all ACC. In 2021, he was called the QB of the defense by Dino Barber, the coach, and then he was a finalist for the Butkus Award. So, if you're going to be behind somebody, that's the guy to be behind. But, was expected when Michael Jones moved on to be, the guy that took over that defense. But unfortunately, in 2022, in the opener against Louisville, he had a season-ending injury, that put him out for the 2022 season. So he had 2 freshman seasons, 2020, then the COVID year, 2021 was another freshman season. Did his medical redshirt in 2022. As a redshirt sophomore in 2023, appeared in every game. 1 start at linebacker, had 52 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. And the biggest thing, looking back at his time at Syracuse and looking through a little bit of the articles about his rehab and stuff like that, coming into that 2023 season, he was in a green non-contact jersey most of that offseason and into that spring, and he was just talking about day by day building off of what he can, and just whenever he got back out there, just trying to hit the ground running. And, for not being in contact the entire offseason, essentially up until most of the spring into the season, to come back and have 52 tackles, 4 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, and a forced fumble, that's a big time stat line, especially, coming off of an injury. It's not easy to get back in the fold of things and mentally just kind of get yourself back into, you know, I need to go out there and I need to play 100%. I need to know that this ligament is going to hold up. It's a mental block that actually it sticks with you, and that's why the contact in practice was going to be important, and him not having to have that, and then still going into the season and being able to just play loose, play free, not worry about it too much, and still come out with 52 tackles. Man, that says a lot about his resilience and him as a kid. And Tony White obviously trusts him. Tony White, I would imagine, was the ringleader in saying we need to go get him. And he talked about that when he transferred over. He said, "Well, I appreciate the interest from everyone. I've decided on Nebraska because it aligns perfectly with my I can't speak. Academic and athletic goals. It's an ideal fit for me, and I look forward to contributing to Nebraska's success. Having a coach who understands me and can help unlock my potential makes this choice even more exciting." So, he talks about having a coach that can unlock his potential. Well, he knows that Tony White was probably a big catalyst in what he was able to do in Syracuse. So, that's another, feather in the cap of Tony White, that another guy is going to come over that trusts him and wants to play for him. And not only that, a guy of his caliber that's going to come over and make a huge impact. Like I said, he has 2 years of eligibility left. The 3-3-5 defense in general, just you have to be a versatile player to run the 3-3-5. That is a necessity of the 3-3-5, just the way it works. And he's about as versatile as it gets at the linebacker position. He can play at every level. He can drop back. He can play the middle. He can play the rover. He can play whatever you need him to do. I think probably, Heinrich and Reimer gone, which made the linebacker position a need, very much so. Not a ton of experience there, but, I would imagine, if I had to guess, he would come in and play the jack role, and, he would probably move around a little bit, play inside sometimes, outside sometimes, but, with his ability to, get in the backfield and stuff like that, they're probably going to want to be able to use him on some pressures and dial up some blitzes for him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him coming off the edge sometimes. He's a big body guy. Like I said, he's 6'1", 250. He can probably come off the edge, but he can run stop. He can do whatever you need to do. So a lot to be excited about in Stefon Thompson. And I don't think that a lot of people were as excited on this as the offensive ones, because of course not. The offense needed the help more than anything, but I would not be surprised if Stefon Thompson comes over and is one of the, probably, by when it's all said and done, the more impactful people in this transfer portal class. Yeah, a lot to like I said, decorated over at Syracuse, and still 2 years left to play. So sky's the limit back under Tony White, and let's see what Matt Rhule can do with him. Matt Rhule's got a history of developing defensive players too. Look about Jalen Petrie, over at Baylor, now playing on Sundays for the Texans. So a lot to like here, and exciting stuff definitely coming up for not only offense, but the defense. That'll do it for me here on Nebraska Football, the voice of college football. Again, if you like what we do here, please consider liking and subscribing. I will be bringing you videos for the rest of the week, every day until our Tuesday live stream. So check us out Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern for our Tuesday Huskers Live, to bring you up to date on everything that happens between now and then. But until next time, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.